was good? It's another episode of Black Man Styles, man. Just woke up, looking at some shit. Blessed to be alive, man. You can tell the doggone seasons is it's starting to wind down. Summer starting to wind down, man. I don't know about from y'all, but I could swear, man, some leaves already started falling. It's a nice little breeze out here. But yeah, let's get into some boxing talk, man. So, Nebraska, Omaha, the city of Omaha, threw Terrence Crawford a little what's it called? A little get together, a little appreciation. Got a chance to hear from Terrence Crawford, and he spoke about, you know, he gonna make the naysayers cry. Crawford looked focused, man. He looked focused. He really. I don't think this is gonna be a situation with Jermell Charlo where he just in it, gets hit and runs the whole fight. I don't see that. I don't see that. I definitely see Canelo bringing in boots. Them boys is focused. Them boys is focused, man. You know, Crawford got Steven Nelson in his camp. Got Lester Martinez. I was watching some Lester Martinez fights the other day. Um, 168er. He nice. He nice. He nice, man. And working with Bomac and them boys, he gonna be nice for a while, man. It's interesting, man, because I would definitely like to see a fight in the future with him and Shiraz. I think that'd be a hell of a fight, But Lester, he just got to keep moving up, man. But I'd definitely like to see him in some fights, man. Hell, even Diego Pacheco, I think that's his name, Diego Pacheco. Let me make sure. But yeah, man, because I think Steven Nelson lost to Diego Pacheco. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, I remember watching that fight, man, earlier this year. I think Pacheco's a hell of a fighter too. So I want to see J class, man. Them boys is that's gonna be an interesting class too, man. But he got Lester Martinez in his camp. I think that's some good sparring work if you fighting him. Hell yeah, that's some good work. And he's also been sparring against Shakur Stevenson. So they talked about that team being prepared, and Steven Nelson and Martinez, they also got fights, man. And so I definitely think that Canelo and Crawford is taking it serious. What's his name? Bomac was in a chair. It was another little scene they had where he was talking, and he was talking about he still having that chip on him, and wanting to just prove everybody wrong, man. Can this guy jump up essentially 3 weight classes, really two, but essentially 3 weight classes and challenge Canelo Alvarez? I mean, it's interesting because on one hand you will say, man, that's something that's something different right there. Canelo ain't no slouch. This ain't no I'm going for the weakest link and who got the belts. Nah, this is for undisputed. I mean, this dude would be a what 3, 4 time undisputed, 3 class undisputed, man. I don't think that's ever been done, to be honest with you. So it's a lot on the line, bro. It's definitely a lot on the line. I think what's on the line mostly is for Canelo. Canelo, you bring in boots in the camp. You you a natural 168 pounder. You define your resume is 10 times better. I mean, Canelo, what 60 something fights, 60, 70 something fights. You know, 2 losses against 2 greats. I mean, Canelo, he loses this fight, bro. It's over. Because everything what they say is gonna be true. He cherry picks. These fights is whatever. But for Crawford, it's gonna be the two things. He dared to be great, or it was a money grab. So definitely, you know, Crawford got. I mean, Canelo's got the more weight on his shoulders. But Crawford said something interesting though. I want to touch back on some of the stuff they were saying. Crawford says he was a natural 168 pounder, and that means this time he ain't got to cut weight. He ain't got to cut weight. I mean cut muscle, and he can just focus on his training. And Crawford's always in shape. He's an excellent wrestler, they say. Um, Look at his kids; they all are uberly athletic, man. So obviously, this dude is super talented. It's no fluke, man. But to say that I'm a natural 168 pounder, I noticed that some people had a issue with that, saying that he was being a weight bully. I don't necessarily think he's being a weight bully, man. These dudes are grown men. Terrence Crawford's like 38 years old, bro. He ain't about to just be walking around at 147. You know what I mean? Like he ain't. These dudes are grown. That's why you hear Shakur Stevenson, you hear them boys saying, I can't make the weight no more. They're growing. So I do believe the fighters should fight more in their natural weight. But Terrence Crawford wasn't that big, bro. His even in the off season when you see him, now it looks a lot more thicker because he's older and he's put on more muscle from the consistent training and building himself for this fight. But if you look at Crawford a few years ago, Crawford has a natural thin frame. A natural thin frame. And you never see, and he's always in shape, so you don't see him walking around. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that was being a weight bully. These, they just found a weight class, they found a slot that their bodies can adjust to, and they fight at that weight. Now, Canelo should be actually a 160 pounder. Hell, maybe even 154 by his height. But Canelo's a thick guy, man. I mean, Canelo, he's solid, man. So I don't know about Canelo being a weight bully. I don't know about Crawford being a weight bully. Um, your body lets you know if you can or you can't, bro. I think fighters back in the past were more sticking to their weight and everything, but you never know, man. You never know. We weren't in these fighters' camps and shit, man. So we don't know what they were, man. I just think people grasping for straws just to say something negative. But him saying that I'm a natural 168 pounder, maybe walking around and not boxing, you know, maybe walking around and not boxing. He's probably walking around a 168 pounder, man. But I don't know. I wouldn't say he's natural, you know. Tell me what y'all think, man. You think Crawford is a natural 168-pound fighter? I mean, that's different. I think there's weight classes for a reason. Um, what else he said? Oh yeah, Bomacs said something interesting. They asked Bomac what did they think about Boots going into Canelo's camp, and Boots said something that's kind of like it's kind of like no, Bomac said something that's kind of like you talking out both sides of your face. On one hand, he says Bud ain't Crawford. Bud ain't Crawford. Bud ain't Crawford. So there's nothing he's going to be able to do because he ain't Crawford. None of that shit helps. But on the other hand, Bud will say, you'll hear Bud say, well, I'm in sparred against Steve Nelson. I'm in sparred against Lester Martinez. I've been sparring against bigger dudes all my life. I've been fighting bigger dudes all my life. I've been sparring against heavyweights all my career. Well, they ain't Canelo. They ain't Canelo either. So it's like man, it can't be on Canelo like, oh, he ain't doing a good job bringing in Boots. That won't help him. But all the people I'm bringing in to mimic Canelo is all of a sudden so much more beneficial. They acting like Boots is just it's just the worst thing in the world that Boots is there, and I disagree with that. Hell yeah, that's gonna help Canelo. Hell yeah, I was listening to Sean Porter, man, and he said something, and he didn't really expound on it, but I thought it was a deep statement. He was like, even if he sees it just for a little bit, for like 3 rounds, that gives him a wealth of understanding of, okay, this is what it's going to feel like. This is this timing. That's a lot of information you can get versus just going to the ring cold, not knowing anything. So I disagree with what Crawford was saying and Bomac saying that Boots in camp isn't going to help. I do think it has him a little rattled. Shit, it should. You have anybody of that caliber going, and if y'all have anything similar, and you know that y'all have something similar, that alone, the mind part is gonna start wearing on you. I think they are a little extra defensive on it. So it don't matter. It don't matter. It does matter. It does matter. That's why it's like that's why they bring in people for camp, because it does matter. If you can get mimic that style of camp to the best of their ability, it does help. So I do think that the what's it called, Crawford's camp is a little bit okay. That was a big chess move that Canelo pulled on him. But here's the thing too. That also shows you that Canelo's taking this fucking fight serious. Because if you're telling me that years ago that Boots' brother been sparring with Canelo, well, why ain't they been sparring together? Think about it. Crawford and Shakur Stevenson has sparred together multiple times. Multiple times he sparred against the whole group. What is it? Keyshawn, all of them. You got a relationship with Boots Ennis, and they say you can't cut off the ring, and they say that you struggle against black fighters, and they say that you're not quick footed. You mean to tell me that access was there to you the whole career, and you just chose not to doggone use it? Nah, hell nah. Hell no. I think that was a straight calculated move that Canelo did and what Boots did. Now, I personally don't understand why Boots did it, besides getting ready for his fight and just the opportunity to work with Canelo. But if you're telling me, but I don't know why he did it. Let me reframe that. I don't believe that it was just a natural coincidence. I do believe if you had this relationship this whole time, and Canelo could have been helping you this whole time, why now when he fighting against Bud? And people say, oh, because he want to fight against Bud, because him and Bud become. Well, what does that have to do with the Canelo fight? You get what I'm saying? He been not liking Bud. He been not been able to get that fight. You get what I'm saying? That fight could have been made. You get what I'm saying? So why now? Why not? Why didn't he do it during the Spence fight? You get what I'm saying? Why didn't he spar with Canelo during the Spence fight? He still had fights. I don't know. I definitely think that it was a calculated move for Canelo, but I don't see what Bud gained. I don't see what Boot gains in his. If you're telling me it was because he wants to fight Crawford, I, they've been not liking each other. They've been not liking each other. So what you think Crawford is going to say? Oh, because you sparred against this guy, now I'm going to fight you. No, I think that one of the Charlo brothers will be before Boots. I think that they would be next in line before Boots. I think that before Boots, I think that Crawford would fight a few people before Boots. Let's just say he wins this fight uh, against Canelo. You think he's really going to lose the weight and go down there and fight Boots at 154? For what? Unless he's trying to be undisputed and Boots got one of the belts. I see him. I see him maybe defending it one time at 168, despite what people say. I see him fighting somebody in an exhibition, and I see him. I just don't see him in Boots. I think Boots is a generation below. I think Boots will focus on that 154 now. He's got a whole bunch of doggone killers in that 154 division that he gonna have to fight, bro. He can't just come off a fight, because Boots don't like to fight a lot of good people. Let's just call a spade what a spade is. So if he fighting taxi cab drivers, he ain't about to just jump in the ring with no fucking Bud, bro. He gonna make sure he got like 3 tune-up fights before he fight Bud, and I don't think Bud that got that type of time, man. But yeah, man, I just thought the whole interview, the whole situation, what they did with hold on. It's a damn airplane, a car coming. So hopefully y'all can hear me. But I just think the whole interview with they had Bomac and Boots was interesting. I mean, and Crawford was interesting. You know, obviously Canelo's is coming up. You know, uh, but yeah, man. You know, let me know what y'all think about the whole Bomac and Terrence Crawford video. What you think about Boots sparring um, Canelo? You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on that? You know, let me know. Also, what do you think of Lester Martinez, man? I've been, like I said, I've been watching his fights a little bit, man. The boy pretty talented, man. How far you think he can go? You know, the 154, I mean, 168 division got some names in it too, bro. Definitely got some names in it too. So it's gonna be definitely interesting. They also called for the official. It's official now with Fandor and Keith Thurman. We're gonna have to do a fight breakdown on that too. It's gonna be an interesting fight, man. Definitely. You have Keith Thurman. He's got a wealth of experience, but Keith has just been out of the ring, bro. Like, to me, this is Keith's money grab. He can't get Spence. He can't get Boots. They're not looking at him. Who else does he got? The biggest name would be what, Fundora. I don't think he can get Boots. I think this is the last hoorah for Keith. He fuck around to win. You know, that establish him, make him stay a little bit longer, man. But he lose. This is it for Keith. I think this is a money grab. I think this is a good fight for Fandor, though. Fedor gets to fight somebody who can move, somebody who can box. And Fedor, he keeping that jab out, man. That's going to be an interesting chess match, man. Because Keith Thurman is a hell of a fucking boxer, man. He is a hell of a fighter. And he used to be a lot better, man. But even watching him now, if you go back and look at some of his fights, man, Keith messed around, surprised somebody up in there, man. Real talk, bro. Keith still got a little juice to him, man. So I wonder if this is his last hoorah. He messed around and upset Fandor, man. That's gonna open up some fights for that dude, and that's gonna put some money in his pocket, because if he mess around and do that, then people gonna get back on that bandwagon and say, "Dang, Keith still got a little bit in him." So, but I don't know. That's a tough fight. I don't know what's going on with Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo. 1 minute, Shakur say that he ain't never signed a contract. Next minute, what's his name? TL say he did, man. So we gonna see. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, man. Comment in the video, man. Man. I want some comments, bro. Talk to me on here, man. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what y'all should want to talk about. But yeah, this is Black Man's Thoughts, man. Shalom.